haven't seen the adaptive version, adaptive Ian's Cross. What's the smack? The thing about Ian's Cross is the original has this big donut crashed in the middle, and this one also has this big donut crashed in the middle. 36,000 reclaim. You want to get it before your opponents do. 100%. You cannot let that fall into your opponent's hand. There's a massive advantage at the start if you go from there. Anyway, we have Team 1 on the left hand side over here, Team 2 on the right. Grab myself a drink, and we shall introduce the players. Okay, first off, down here for team number 1 in the orange color, it is headed 9 Hydra. I am going to stumble over his name all game, so I'm going to try and call him Hydra. But he's there, he's been given the orange color, and he is Cybran. Beside him in the red color is UEF player Elwood, and he is already getting the engines off and going for his Hydra down there. The other two players for team number 1 all the way up the top corner here, another Cybran in nice yellow color. It is Lesney for OK. Just going to call this person Les, I guess, maybe Lesney, but anyway, he's Cybran given the yellow color as mentioned. And finally, the final player for team number 2 here in the top section in Burgundy, it is Sasson. And Sasson is Aeon working hard on his Hydro there. Let's have an introduction for team number 2. First up here in the lavender color and already walking his way towards the middle, it is Insane. Yep, Insane. He's lavender UEF working on his Hydro with the engineers while he's walking away. And over this direction it is Hayden. The extra ends, he is UEF in the light blue color. Engineers doing as engineers do with the reclaiming. Carrying on for team number 2 down this direction in the cyan color in Cybran, it is Bobby Commander. Good old Bobby here is walking forwards like a good man, and his compatriot is Aeon and the Snagglefox. So we actually have no Seraphim in this game. So we go from a ladder game with 2 Seraphim players, nothing but Seraphim, to no Seraphims whatsoever. We have 2 Cybrans, 1 Aeon, 1 UEF for team number 1. We have 2 UEFs, 1 Cybran, 1 Aeon for team number 2. And both both of the UEF players up here at the top section, whereas the dual Cybrans are split between the top and bottom for team 2. So yes, Ian's Cross. This is the adaptive version, so I suspect something has changed about it. These look kind of the same. Maybe this is a bit wider, perhaps shorter. Maybe they go further back. Maybe the original is 20 by 20 and you're actually further back down this direction, but it is all about this. You gotta get the reclaim. And this is a convergence of all the commanders. We have 1, 2, 3, and lagging fourth for team number 1 there. Actually going to reach there first is Insane. We have 1 coming in from Lesniok, 1 coming in here from Hydra, and lagging behind is Sasson and Elwood. So team 2 is actually going to get here first if they don't redirect. And why is he going on a strange angle? No, he just needs to get right on in there. Let's get in and start shooting things. What is going on? And even as they're pushing forwards, it looks like Sasson has pulled out a T1 bomber. Going to start picking off engineers just to be extra annoying, and really he's going to want to pop out some AA to slow that, because it's going to be going for all these engines here. Look at this nice pair of engineers that could die. The bomber is going to swing on round and have a good go at them, perhaps. Turns off, turns back, and this is now going to be 3 engineers from 1 bomb. They are doomed. In it comes, and see you later. That's a problem. That is build power down for Insane. But he's here in the middle, and he has started the reclaim. Mass is on the way. It is time to get some of that, and time to maybe put down some point defense or something, because there's going to be a massive commander mayhem in the middle there. Even as they're doing that though, we have... Is it really? Never mind. There's the anti-air out from Hayden. There's the bomber going around, still picking off engineers. It's got itself 7 kills now. That's a decent amount of engineers for it to kill, but this life will not be too much longer. Flying over a couple of T1 AA. Going to be picked out of the sky. Another couple of shots, and we shall see you later. In the middle though, this is a T1 bomber being a pain, and all the commanders are just focusing on grabbing that wreck. T1 PD is going down for Lesniak, and that's actually going to be something that is going to shoo these guys away. They're not going to be able to loiter with a T1 PD slamming on down at them, and especially if Elwood and Sasson focus on the murdering. Yeah, that's time to go. It is time for them to go. That point defense is going to go up, and they're going to start taking some hefty amount of damage. And there it is. Trying to get their own point defense up, but it's actually focused down by Lesnie. He's paying attention, and he's actually in his targets with that there. And who's taking the brunt of the damage? Well, it is Snagglefox is currently the recipient of that point defense, and Bobby is absolutely determined to get as much of that reclaim as he can, but he can't loiter. He really can't loiter in the face of this. Snagglefox definitely can't loiter down into yellow. He needs to get out of there. With these commanders finished reclaiming, he's going to be a dead man. Now there's 2 point defense in the way. Run, boy, run. Units coming on up. Lead the scene at a gratuitous rate. He needs to get out, and now Bobby needs to go real quick. Look at the health just disappear off him down to 6,000, 5,500 health. 1-2 point defense and being chased by units. This is Bobby needing to run really, really fast. Down into the reds, 1,500 health. Now he gets out of range of the point defense, but T1 artillery has come along. He needs help. He needs to dodge and twist and weave. He needs to go sideways, not in a straight line. That T1 arty is gonna catch him. Dodge, people. Dodge, duck, dive, and weave. Straight lines are deadly when there's T1 arty. And Bobby is out of the game, but it is ladder. It is full share, so all of this he's built up in his space is handed over to Snagglefox, maybe the best player for it to happen to. He is the highest rated, and he can actually get along with continuing these upgrades if he so desires. Here we can see that Snagglefox has actually built a T1 PD, which is shooting the T1 PD instead of the engineer building it, but he has now got claim on that ridge there. There's a ridge fight going on up in this direction as well. Why is that point defense not shooting that point defense? I do not know, but there's a factory that's about to roll off a single piece of artillery which can then shoot at that. I'm pretty sure he knows it's there. Yes, indeed. He needs to get some scouting on all of that though to help finish it off. Good times, but this is now in the hands of team number 1. They have claimed all of that, and have claimed it well. Leslie decides to push it on forwards. Maybe not the best idea. It's kind of alone, but playing a bit of fuck the ground, because he's standing in the ridge, firing over the edge, whilst his opponent was actually shooting the ground directly in front of his face. Gun upgrade on the way for Snagglefox. It's just the range upgrade, but a gun upgrade, any gun upgrade is good at this stage. Extra range will be very handy for shooting off these guys. Okay, up here it is now people time. Plenty of T1 artillery that can all just come along and absolutely explode those factories. They should be able to hold on to that ridge quite handily. Gun range is done for Snagglefox. 4,000 health, so it doesn't really want to be that much of a gun com. Do they have intel? Well, no they don't. There's 0 point in being a gun commander as Aeon without radar, because you just simply cannot see far enough to shoot. And this little scouring of the ground, this little valley, is just ruining the shots that are coming over from Snagglefox, who now has a full-on gun gong. He can start doing some extra damage on there. T2 on the way forward, Leslie right at the middle there. Also kind of loiter around and just use his units to push on back. Shield upgrade for Snagglefox, so he's going all out gun gong. Plenty of extra presence on there, and again, where's your radar? Where is your radar press? We'll have a look at just, that's how far you can see. The red line is how far you can see, that's how far you can shoot, and once again, you'll want to have some radar. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish this upgrade. There's units pouring on, and he does have support from Hayden in the region, but we have Hydra pushing up with this commander, though he has 0 upgrades whatsoever. And if he had the gun pump sitting back here and support units coming in from Snagglefox, it looks like he's going to be okay. Up this direction, and it is T1 bomber time, murdering all those engineers. And up this direction, some T1 arty pushing on up, wanders into range of T1 point defense. Units are pouring out from here. That's going to be a bad time for Mr. Sasson, and I think we're going to find that the bridge is going to be held by Hayden. He has the extra build power, he has the extra factories, he has the intel with the units flying overhead, he has bomber loitering in the region, and these guys are more than ready to push on and take care of business. In the middle, this has been a pushback by Snagglefox, or perhaps a strategic withdrawal by the team number 1 combatants. We have Hydra and Elwood deciding to move back, especially as we now have a full shielded gun com. Sorry, a shielded gun com, not full shield. Definitely has a shield though, definitely has the gun. Still, there's radar somewhere. There it is, it's down there. Okay, finally, need some radar. You've got to be able to see what you're shooting at. So it should be right from there. Bottom ridge in control of Snagglefox. Right ridge in control of Snaggle. Top ridge in control of Hayden. And he has the units. And they have nothing left to slow that down. So he now controls that quite happily. Good times. Okay, there has been a push here from Insane. Units have been rushing on up and they want to kill these engineers here before the point defense gets covered by walls. Although there are some tier 1 artillery units in the mix, they can start lobbing their shells down, killing those off. But too late perhaps, the engineers have completed the T1 PD, those shells come over and they obliterate that into nothingness. A couple of mantis up here, they're going to have a bad time against that bunch of strikers. T1 bombers coming out, they're going to be useful to maybe clean up all of this, but the front, massive push coming over from Insane, doing well there to shove these guys back. However, T2 over this way, and this is Lesney okay, he's moving up. Goes commander with T2 and popping down some point defense, although this is exactly a good place that Snagglefox could push. There's only a couple of Cerberus turrets at the moment. He could do some good damage on them, but his commander's down here focused on the army belonging to Hydra, wanting to clean those out and leave a nice open space for him to move into. Maybe not the right choice, maybe needs to go this way, but T1 artillery does for these Cerberus turrets quite handily. That is a loss. Didn't even need Snagglefox in the region. Okay, checking up this way, and we see Sasson has moved around with his commander trying to stem the tide, but units have been coming in support from Sasson and Elwood, and it is Insane who's decided to pull back just a little bit. In the middle, what is going on? Well, it is Lesney okay, having to go at these ground units because he kind of has to. The point defense has all been cleaned out by those tier 1 artillery though, and he hasn't got anything to fall back on. Does have a bunch of reclaim though, if he wants to grab it. Down the bottom though, let's have a look at Snaggle. Does he know when to quit? I don't think he does. Well outnumbered here now, and that's actually T2 coming out. These are pillars. So Elwood has been doing the transition towards T2 units and he's been doing it pretty well. He's got a HQ there and 3 support factories, and then he's going for T3 air. That's an air factory. It is 13% of the way towards T3. We have 40% of the way towards T3 for Hydra. So he's actually going to be ahead on air very shortly. If we have any air over this direction, we have T2 for Snagglefox on that front. T2 land as well. Checking up the top section, we have T2 land factory for Hayden and T2 land factory for Insane. Let's check out the rest of the gang over this direction. That is T3 land out for Assassin, and Harbingers are already rolling off. And his air factory is on the upgrade. And finally, we have just T1 for Lesniok. No factory upgrades back there. I think all his tech is on his commander at the moment. There we go, T2 popping down some of that good old Cerberus turret. Mayhem. Okay. T2 on the way for Hayden. Wants to try and counter this with some good old UEF goodness, as it will. Those pillars are a bad sight for Snagglefox. They will absolutely rip through Roarers. Those tinfoil paper as they are, and with some pillars rushing on up, they're going to have a terrible time. So Snagglefox needs to consider getting some T2 on the ground at least, maybe even T3 if he wants to think about staying in that land game. Okay, now as things going on elsewise, we controls this original right with some T1, but there was a drop attempt, failed miserably, they all died. And there's a whole bunch of Cerberus towers going up in the middle here from this Neoke, wanting to absolutely cement this mid position with Cyprian tech. Tech is tech, point defense is point defense. Maybe it's not the best point defense, but it will hold the region for the time being. We have a slight little push here from Insane, but he's going to have to pull these guys back while they run into some triads, into some units, into some point defense pillars. Yeah, they're not going to stay. And he does have a gun com, T2 gun com to join the fray, but maybe not the best position. Doesn't have any ranks of efficiency, so it doesn't have any extra regen. And he's going to be doing some damage to these guys. Overcharge will help clear out the pillars. Maybe he can think about popping down some of his own point defense. Stealth on the way for Hydra. All the way down here, maybe a bit concerned about getting spotted. He has gun. Maybe wants to join in the front fight with his com in that fashion. Insane doing great things with his commander. Actually, he's got 22 kills on there. Does have a rank of veterancy now, and that whole army has been wiped off the face of the planet. What is the face of this map? Okay, but here it is a point defense creep for Mr. Lesney, okay? Don't know if he's going to be able to keep that up. A tech launcher from Hayden. What is that in range of? The answer is it doesn't matter, because there's a point tactical missile defense right there. And that is going to stop any missiles launched from this thing that go anywhere near it. Maybe you could send over this way. Maybe there's no point defense up there, but the answer is no, there isn't. Oh, there's that one. One point defense there. Sorry, tech missile defense there. Going down in this direction, so he could maybe tack that T2 mix. There's not a lot in range. Okay, more point defense has been, well, some point defense, sorry, has started to be slapped down by Snaggerfox. He's brought some T2 engines up, and away go the Oblivion turrets. His commander is still in resistance as well, so able to thin out even more units doing on that. But that is not the problem. The problem right now is this T3 Air, available for both Hydra and Elwood, who's working on another bakery. Well, to work on power, buddy. You're running this off T1 power, one T2 PGen, or another T2 PGen there. Okay, it's got a few, but he really wants to put down T3 power if he plans to try and get that up and running. Hello, the T1 bomber spam. This will probably be going for Insane. One more overcharge, and that is a dead Harbinger. There it is. Overcharge goes pop. Harbinger goes pop. Flak is in the wrong position. It needed to be back here. Instead, it's up here. It's going to die to T1. Yeah, I hate to see it. At least you're Team 1, then you'll love to see it. Right, Insane. Well, it's going to take a while for them to die from T1 bombers, but they have redirected their energy somewhere. Changed their mind, and this looks like it was a drop. There's Harbingers here from Assassin, and that is the most effective drop. They have come in, they've cleaned up, and they're getting all the reclaim. That's a nasty thing to try and defend with just T1 units. Okay, now Leslie's not going to get anywhere. Anything he tries to build in range of this is going to die a horrible death. There's plenty of triads that will say goodbye to that. The tech launch is still loading very, very slowly, but otherwise not so good. Okay, there has been a pushback. The tech has proven the difference. You can see Snaggerfox has had to fall back a little bit with his units under some T2 PD cover. In the middle, it is Lesniak who's been pushing on forwards, trying to move into territory belonging to Hayden, which has succeeded. The triads are slightly distracted by all these units here. And at the top, again, tech is winning out. It is Insane having to fall back in the face of Harbingers, which have claimed this top section as well. Okay, let's have a look. Loaded another drop. That is a Harbinger into the base of Insane. And what's he got to stop that? The answer is sweet. Fuck. Oh, he doesn't even. There's no air. There's no ground units. Some gunships are going to be required as soon as possible. Maybe throw down some T1 PD, not T2. The Harbinger's already in your face. You want T1 PD. T2 is going to take too long to build. Get the T1 down. It's going to out DPS the thing. And there we go, more triads coming out for Hayden. So that is a problem. Kaboom goes to storage, and that I think is Insane's overcharge. Yes, it is. He's got no overcharge capability left. That is not good. A small drink, excuse me. Right. Harbinger up the back, doing the damage. So now it's wandering into range of some the T2 PD over here from Hayden. Wants to think about maybe not doing that. There's a T2 air factory. If he loses that, it's going to be a bad time. There we go. 2 Trays having to go now, and this Harbinger is finally taking some damage to itself, taking quite a bit of damage. Now there's 2 Trays down here. Of course, the 3rd one over there, 4th one about to go up, and that is going to be it for this Harbinger. Not going to get much more done, trying to dodge, stuck and weave, but hey, it's game over for that guy. It's not going to happen again. Push coming down this direction. These few surviving units from the Elwood trying to see what damage they can do to factories here. Sitting still though, in the range of T1 artillery fire is never a grand old plan, although the RT fire moved in range and they have taken extra damage. The RT fire has been deemed deaded. Okay, up here, and we have a Cerberus turret outranging is shooting at the shield generator. Because why not? It is the closest thing at the edge of the land. Yeah, that Harbinger though up here, what's it done? Taking off 1, 2 mass extractors, the E storage over there, taking a bunch of power down. That was all T1, so it shouldn't be too badly off from that little push, but it did work. Okay. Cerberus turret still shooting at the point miss. That is going to be in range. Feasible, and that will be the Cerberus turret taken out once that triad is completed. Right, push coming down the right hand side. Oh, so push, these are those surviving units that decided to switch direction and have a go at what is here. There's a T1 mass extractor. It's only T1. Nobody really cares all that much. And that is those pillars. Oh, that guy. 13 kills. It doesn't matter how many kills you got when you die. Titan. Rolling on through. That is a giant gap in the middle here. Not much in the way of point defense or units to plug that. Titan just simply wanders on through, has a grand old time. Deals a bunch of damage from upgrading T1 land factory. Oh my word. 95%. And it goes pop. What kind of mass loss was that? That was. Can't tell. Can't tell. I don't know how much that cost, but that was a sizable mass loss there. It takes a bit of time to upgrade to T2, and Titan's going to get away? He's going to get away. 172 health left on that guy, and he's going to be able to waltz his way past. Okay, massive force coming here to plug the gap though from Insane, and these guys are going to have to fall back in the face of that, plus the T2PD down here from Hayden. This direction is a line of T2PD and some ground forces holding the face there. Up in this direction we have bricks. The bricks, are they going to land? The answer is yes. The transport drops them off, then the transport dies, but the bricks, they are on the ground, and the question is what can be done about them? The answer is T1 PD spam. That is probably the best answer, and the bricks are focusing on the wrong things perhaps? No, trying to get the shields down, and a whaler turns up as well. Whaler though, there's some swift ones around, it's not going to last too much longer with those guys having fun, and there's a flak down here in addition to that. T1 PD is having to go at the bricks are focusing down on the engineers first, and once those are done, T1 PD is going to be under threat from those. Though having said that, this brick is caught in the middle of everything, a whole bundle of T1 PD, and it's going to go down while the ground units survive. Single whaler left is getting plugged by, there we go, there's the flak unit, and it's a hold. Nagelfox actually manages to hold that ridge. These artilleries are still alive, able to rain hellfire down upon this group here, which is exactly what they're doing just as the army pushes in from Snagglefox. So nice combined little push here is going to clean those up, and Harbinger's at the front. They're going to tank some of the point defense fire from the Cerberus turrets for as long as they can. Saw the T280 shells also landing on down, and well, there's some citizens, that's okay. First Harbinger down, but now they are in range, and these is going to go down. Plenty of units, Obsidians in the mix as well, nice high alpha damage from those T2 units. Radar goes down, shield goes down, some more T2 coming over from Elwood trying to help hold the line, but they're not going to last too long in the face of all this. Another drop on the way. That's... ah dear. I don't think they're going to survive this time. Not enough T1 PD, and 2 bricks. The price of 1. Engineers are going to die, shield is not up, so that is going to be all she wrote for those guys at this rate. T1 PD trying to do its best, but running out of health, and those bricks are, well, they're unhealthy. One of them is anyway. And yet still, there's still 1 point defense left. Gets a rank of veterancy to help it live that a little bit longer. As the brick moves on in and starts focusing on units instead, that's a mistake. And that brick is actually going to die. It could have focused that down and survived, but it's going for the units first. And the hero point defense with 1 kill gets 3 ranks of veterancy. But speaking of units and pushing on in, look at this. These units have romped into the base of the Hydra, taking out T3 power. They are just absolutely swarming through all of this. The question is, what are they going to focus on next? Well, the answer is a good question. What is it going to be? They're going to carry on through, try and deal damage to the eco of Elwood. Are they going to focus on taking down the HQ of Hydra? Looks like they are just moving straight on there and trying to find weak targets. Maybe they spot a T3 power generator and start having a go at that, but there's Hydra with his commander in the mix as well, but this is going to go pop. They cannot stop it. A quick reclaim order prevents the explosion at least happening, but it is still a loss of a T3 power generator. Good evening, Husky. How we doing? I just happened to glance up when you mentioned that. And a good one. Good push in here. Lots of damage done. Lots of eco destroyed. Counter push though coming for a cutoff from Sasson. Desperately needed to try and hold that side of things. Big push coming in the middle as well. Lots of T2 units, but they're running to some point defense there. That's a spider. Lesniok decides he's going to start building a spider. That's a curious decision. I think this slot could actually push down there, and they don't know it's there. They haven't scouted. They have no idea there's a spider right here being built. No scouting over that. In fact, do they even know that Lesniok's there? Maybe not, but now they push on down. Now they know. Now they know. There's a spider, there's a commander. Kill everything. That is more than enough T2 to romp his face off. Tries to get under the shielding, but there's not much in the way of shielding available. There's Mongoose, there's pillars, there's shields. Shields down from there. The PD is going down. The spider is still there, so maybe they want to kill that as well, but my word. Lesnie is in a terrible position right now. He could get focused and just die a horrible, horrible death should they decide to. In fact, there goes the kill order, and there is a lot of Gatling bots. A lot of fire coming. Look at all the T1 Arty that's rocked up here from Sasson as well, trying to help hold the line. The Harbinger joining in as well, but that is not enough. Oh, might be enough actually. Lesniok is heavily damaged, but those Mongoose are chasing. And Lesniok needs to keep moving, I think. Let's use the sniffles. Sitting still is a terrible idea when Gatling bots can romp your face. But he's getting out of that, is getting away from then. He might not get away from this behind. There are some Percivals in the mix, so they're going to have a grand old time trying to slow down the Harbingers, but they're taking a lot of punishment. And these guys now can come and pincer into Lesnie, who's stuck in the middle there. Really, really want to finish off that monkey. Can't afford to let that live, and in fact, there we go, there's a T2 somewhere, lobbing some shells away. That would be a very useful target to knock off. Right, these guys have decided not to go for this knock. In fact, they're going for the build power over here. Not a bad idea, since it is full share. It's all going to be given to somebody else should they kill the commander, so maybe not the greatest thing to do. And instead they are killing off all these factories, so many factories. T3 there rocking out the Percies. Plenty of things to kill. Some mass extractors, another one up there. All sorts of worthy killings going on. Up this direction, another T2 force was Percival thrown into the mix from Insane, able to just mope you on around and do extra damage, but that monkey is still alive. Very heavily damaged, but it is still alive. Maybe they want to finish it off, though. We see some T2 still having to go at that. It's probably the best thing to go for at this stage. I'm sure they scouted this. There we go. They have scouted it. They know the monkey is there. They know it's being built, but they are not having to go at it, which is, I think, is a mistake. They don't want to let it complete. That monkey completes it is a bad time. 2 shields above it now. They are also getting assisted Right, Harbinger's here, getting ripped apart by some Spectres overhead. Not much they can do about that, just keep falling back and eventually die. Some being pushed back by T2 units, spawning into range of a Cerberus turret. A couple of those Harbies are not going to have a good day. Down this direction, and this is Hydra. Oh, that's an SACU, very damaged, very dead SACU. And Hydra pushing up with this comm, maybe not the best idea in the face of T3 goodness. And indeed, these arties up here are still lobbing their shells on down. Plenty of T1 PD now. If a couple of bricks got dropped here, they might not have such a good time. Oof. Take some damage. Why don't you? Right, and still. That is Ravager fire. So Ravagers are up for Hayden. Ooh. Is it enough? Because that monkey has gone up pretty darn quickly, and it is sitting under shields. It's going to take a while for that to get on through. Once it does, oh, T2 is going to help a lot. Big dents in the health there. We need to do some damage to that monkey. It is almost complete though, I think. Or is that assisting the shield gen? Might be assisting the shield generator. Very, very uncertain. Right, pushes some T1 units coming on up, but they're pretty much shredded by the triads. A lot of triads there. They are having fun shooting the ground though. Fuck the ground, as we say. And the T1 artillery is actually lobbing the shells over the edge. Not having a good time. Their monkey has been repaired and is very nearly completely. Looks like the assistance has been turned on to that. It is 87% done. Not going to be too much longer, but the shields go down and now it starts taking some damage. And that's not the ideal thing you want to have happen there. The T2 artillery takes out the shield, exactly what they needed. Extra damage now going down onto the monkey from the Ravagers. Massive push coming up here from units and T1 bombers as well. But there is flak in the region, so that's going to have a bad time on those. They're going to get basically one pass and that will be it. Monkey is taking extra damage, but it is very nearly done. Looking at the orange bar there, it's about to pop, is about to stand up and be lost to all time on radar. They don't have eyes on that, it is going to disappear. There we go, monkey's up. Monkey's stealthed. Half dead though. But now it can start lasering absolutely anything in range, which happens to be a bunch of T2 units. Not so good for health. T2 RD lobs some shells in, just does some extra damage, and now, well, it's still taking damage from the Ravagers. And if it walks into gun range of the Triads, it's going to take a heinous beating from them as well. That looks like a ground fire. I think the Ravagers were ground firing, and Hayden needs to get the hell out of there. He is far too close to an angry monkey. He needs to run the heck away. Having said that, the monkey's going to pop into range soon, and all those Triads are going to open up. The health is going to just dissipate from that. Quite a number. Triads do some damage, but it's doing a lot of damage there, and Hayden's still running away. He's far too close to that monkey. Damaged as it is, and found him and focused him. Ooh. There's damage coming on and moves a little bit, focuses somewhere else, and does go down to very close. Hayden gets out of there by the skin of his teeth. That was far too close for comfort. Down here though, it is whalers. There is a lot of T3 gunships, and they do a huge amount of damage. They can take a huge amount of flak, and I feel like this is going to be the top plateau cleared. Though in come the ASFs from Mr. Snagglefox. They are there to start doing some damage. Loitering behind though is the ASFs from Elwood, and he's not going to have a good time there. Maybe he can kill enough of these whalers to keep the skies clean, but alas, is not the case, and now they are out of flak. The whalers out of flak, out of ASFs, and these are going to be able to clean up this plateau at will. So that's going to be an ownership flip from Team 2 to Team 1. In the middle though, this is Lesniak. He got caught out, bum rushed by a bunch of units from Snagglefox. There's some T3 in there, some Harbingers, and he is a dead man way up front with his commander. Not really sure what he's doing there, but he is dead. Now finally, Team 2 score a kill on Team 1 at the 30-minute mark, and Snagglefox finishes an experimental. That is a good act of Colossus. And he is stomping his way towards the front. What do we have to counter that? Well, we've got some T3 over here, got a couple of bricks. That's really about it. We have a bunch of T3 over here. Percival's wandering around. Percival's definitely a dangerous type of thing, but yeah, as you can see, these whalers have mission completely. SO is clear. Want to maybe get some SAMs a little bit closer to take those out. A couple of ASFs coming in. They're not going to get much done though. Maybe kill off a couple of them before the air sweeps in from Mr. Elwood. But even then, the whalers do have their own anti-air capability. Here we go, ASFs do rock on through, and they're going to just make mincemeat due to vastly superior numbers. Okay, GCs are stomping. Support units are gathering around it. Interesting thing, and still at the front is Hayden with his commander. Moving on up, that is a Nano. Rambocom. Nope, Nanocom, not Rambo, just Nano. Still though, a lot of damage coming off that thing, and trying to stick into it, but Ravager is maybe shooing that away? Question mark? Insurgent, this is not a place for Hayden to sit though. He's going to maybe want to think about falling back under here and popping up some more point defense with that Rambocom sitting around. Sorry, Nanocom sitting around with that large number of units rushing on in. I don't know that he has enough to deal with all that. Percivals are a great addition to any army when there are heavy things that need to be hit hard, because they do, and they will hit hard. Alright, GC turns up to flank this entire army, has massive support with him, just in the nick of time I would say, can start carving its way through all of this. Perhaps just wants to stop and not get in range of all of the Percivals. But there we go, now starting to focus him down. That is going to keep it alive that much longer. Throw in the extra forces, a Ravager there, Ravager there, Ravager there, and that is going to be well and truly decent. Hold for Team 2 and potentially a mass gift. And why is the GC turning away? This is all T1. It should be absolutely fine, able to mow all of that down in one easy swoop. Focus on the Percivals and it will be absolutely fine. Get a Confederacy, it'll be even better. Just about to get there, and here we go. Look at it just moving up. All of those T1RD Percivals coming in this direction, not a great plan. And there's the rank. It is now a very tough regenerating GC. Plenty of Ravagers over this way, and they're just doing a number on these Harbingers that happen to be walking past. And Hayden's still up there with his comm, still fighting for that mid area. Tell you what, I've done half a bad job of it thanks to the support coming over from Snagglefox. GC did move on in and cleared up a whole bunch of all that stuff on the side. Have a look, it has racked up 40 kills. One very, very handy GC. Now, I can push down this way. Maybe. There's a fair amount of T3 on the ground, got some point defense going up as well. Percivals are in the area. Still no experimental though. There are the Whalers, and the Whalers will have a very detrimental effect onto this GC. Maybe it doesn't want to get quite that close. Support command up the front there, and what do we have back here? Is a GC started out for Sasson. Just started. Don't see another one walking anywhere, so I think that is his first. And what have we got going? T2 artillery. No dramas on that front. Okay, back in this direction. To get a bit of an air grid going up there is old Hayden. Needs it. Get into the air game, maybe get some help. But T2 RD up on the ridge from Sasson, so he's done exactly what Snagglefox did on the other side. And this is now going to be an area denial thing unless they can find a way around it. Have a look at just how far this can reach. This entire section here is under threat from multiple T2 artillery. Right, what's going on back down this way? Well, we have... Hello. We have a nuke launcher. Snaggle on here. You got a good point there. He's been focusing on the fighting instead of focusing on his eco. He has a T1 mix up here. I'm pretty sure he's forgotten about them. Or they've got destroyed and he had to rebuild. That is... Is it past stalling? No, that is actually a true reading. He's on 300 income. Compare that to Elwood, who's on 2 bases. He has absolutely wrapped up his eco. He's on 400. And he's definitely spending it on something. Bad boy. Round. All sorts of things. Okay. So at the moment, it has been a solid hold and even a wee bit of a pushback from team number 2. Since they've killed Lesniok, they have managed to gain some ground. It's been quite useful. GC still launching around, don't really want to try and tangle with that. We have this lot up here. They've got some long range options with the mobile missile launchers. They're going to lob their shells over. Engineers doing a reclaim mission up this direction. Bunch of units here from Hayden, as well as a bountiful amount of Ravagers, throwing some engineers with some reclaim, and a tech launcher that has never been used. Such a shame. You build it, you got to use it. You really should. And hello, this force is going to have a bad time if it gets too close this way. Got some sniper bots down here, got some harbingers, some shields, and a wall of bricks. There's only a couple of... oh no, there's a few more Percivals in here than I thought there were. Plus some of the shields should make them nice and happy. But not going to be a grand old time. Okay. Scout is gone on over, shields are up. There's going to be SAMs to dissuading the air from going that way. Here though, we've got lots of flak. So what is T2? No, there's a couple of SAMs up there as well, some harbingers on patrol, and T2RD lining the bridge. Going to be a problem. You can see here the damage is already starting, the shields are dropping, T2 artillery from all over the place. And there we go, these guys are having to fall back. Percival's getting caught out. Maybe sitting still in the range of T1 artillery, not the greatest idea. So they're falling back into formation. That will keep them a wee bit safer. Okay, nuke launcher is done and is very much the focus of Snaggle Fox's eco, his build power. Wants to get that loaded and launching as soon as possible. Don't entirely blame him. Would be a good thing to do. Let's have a check. Have they scouted it? Well, no, they have not. So they do not know that there is a nuke on the way. Let's see if they have any kind of SMD. Well, they do have one there. Hello. There is one anti-nuke. It is very slow on the load though. Well, it's not too bad actually, but it's got no assistance. And it is stopping on account of there being mass stalling. If you're stalling mass, you're not loading your SMD or your nuke. So I think getting that loaded would be a grand idea. Because that's going up quickly. Snaggle is focusing that and he's not stalling mass, so that nuke launcher is going to go up really quickly. And he's got the advantage as well. That's going to be a problem. And hello over this way, the T280 from up on the ridge is absolutely telling the shields are dropping off. It's now down to just the units, and it's a massive army, along with the nano comms and Rambo comms. It's got plenty of units, lots of harbingers, shields and everything. That is going to be a very hard task for these guys to try and stop. They need to pull back and keep their range. Percivals are better at range. You have Percivals, you want to kite them. Get them dropping back. Keep them out of distance, and sitting still under T1 arty fire, that's a mad no-no. It's an absolute mad no-no. Broadswords out, so that's going to be helpful because there's not very much in the way of anti-air in this mix. It's going to force the ASFs to come over from somewhere, but that is quite the problem. There is transport. That is quite the problem though. All these Fat Boy, that will absolutely help. So Insane just needs to try and buy some time, get the Fat Boy up, and that is going to be a huge help on this. And looks like units are coming up from Hayden to do exactly that. They're just there to provide some extra help, extra distraction from what is going on. If they can make these forces just hold off a little bit, the Fat Boy is going up really quickly. It is almost done, but that is still a massive army that is pushing up, and a bit of a worry. How is the nuke? The nuke is 80% loaded, I want to say. We compare that to the SMD, which has not been getting assisted, and look at how far that has gotten in the same time. That mass stall is real for Hydra. That is going absolutely nowhere, which means if that nuke gets launched very quickly, first thing, it is going to get through. I hear GC. That's this one down here taking out some units, but that's not where the battle's going to be. It's going to be up here, and it's going to be this Fat Boy lobbing its shells into this giant clump of enemies. That should do some excellent damage. Once it gets in range, those shells are going to go flying. We'll just see what a Fat Boy can do. Anytime now, I'm sure these things are in range. I'm sure. Yes, they are. Turrets are not turning. Turrets are turning. And there we go. The Fat Boy lights on up. And now these are under threat from extreme range. Look at the shields go down and look at the shells land. And the damage begins. Good old Fat Boy fire. Question is, do they push it or do they run away? The answer is to push. Well, they're going to have to push through these units as well, which honestly won't take too long. It's only really T1 with a few T3 thrown in. They're going to die pretty damn quickly. But add to that the extra damage coming there, and hello, in comes some stingers. We're going to have a grand old time having to go at this Fat Boy, although there's flak around and... I thought there was flak. No, that is actually... There's the flak. There was flak. That's going to help keep that Fat Boy alive. Massive army pushing on through though, led by some Rambo bombs. The gunships, however, are in range. There goes the nuke. That should be the one from Yes Indeedy. That is coming out from Snagglefox, and it is going over this way. Oh dear. Hydra, if you don't move, you're a dead man. We have SMD up here. We do, and is it loaded? Yes, it is. So that's been there for ages. So Assassin is very comfortable standing still. He is not going anywhere, but Hydra, standing still, trusting his currently unloaded SMD, is going to be a dead man. We have a massive battle going on here. We have the GC gone down, but Hydra dies there. And look at the mounted damage of that. Giant hole where there used to be a base, but the GC has died over here to Rambo comms and masses of units. Air as well pushing over, that killed off all of those. The nuke gets itself 121 kills, 91,000 damage. I'd say it's probably paid for itself, but up here there is so much going on. That is a very damaged Continental with a commander on it, but looks like he's going to get away. The air has missed it. Single Redeemer might have been able to polish that off, but the Continental gets away, and that is Insane going to survive with his commander. Bat Boy has run right into the corner. Very necessary. Broadswords over here trying to do their best. We have plenty of units still on the ground. Broadswords tidying on up, building Percival's out of that. That's going to pop any second now. Take a bunch of things with it. Down there all goes. More power under threat over here. Bat Boy still raining his shells down upon the main force. Broadswords still doing their thing along with some extra support from both sides. Shields going down over there. Percival rocks on out. HQ really needs to survive. The nuke defense, they want to keep that alive as well. That they lose that, it's going to be a problem. So many units rocking on here, still alive, but the numbers are dwindling in the face of broadsword and Fat Boy fire. Harbinger's getting towards the back and destroying his own factory. Not a great idea. E3 power over here under threat as well. T1 RT Lord from side. Harbinger's in the region, and these units have moved right on up and done huge amounts of damage. All of this. They're going to survive. The bases are half intact, although Hayden's base is way more intact than Instane's, and now they're camped out on their doorstep. Assassin here has got a nano SACU which is getting absolutely obliterated. So many broadswords, the health is just disappearing off that guy, and there's nothing left doing there. Plenty of anti-air over here again though. T1 AA and a GC is walking in as well, so not looking great for the top section, but the same can be said for the bottom section. Big giant gap left in there, and another nuke coming out. This time it's going to be able to catch this SMD, which is also not loaded, so that's just going to be some extra damage thrown down on there. Might as well keep nuking it to keep it down. If we can prevent any SMDs getting built, you can just keep nuking and keep on destroying. But as a problem of units pushing in the front of his base, and what does he have to repel this? Well, the answer is not much. Let's see, Fat Boy. So yeah, Fat Boy coming out from Elwood, and this is not looking good for Hayden. He's caught right in the middle here. He has got a bunch of T2 artillery which is not shooting at anything. He does not see the Fat Boy. He does, but they're not attacking. What are they attacking? Just really slowly. But under threat, ground forces right in their faces. The T2 artillery is landing though. The Fat Boy is very heavily hammered. Why is it leaving behind That's going to be a graphics glitch. It is leaving behind Hydro and Max Deagles. I'm pretty sure that's just a... yeah, just a glitch. It fades. But T280 is still up, still lobbing a few shells. Fatboy is just about dead. 2,600 health. One more round or to do it. Or even if some Ravagers had to go at that Fatboy, it'd be a dead man. There we go, there's some fire coming in, and Fatboy is going to expire. Hayden still on the run. Over this direction, and what do we have to slow down the bash of Percy's over this direction, plus some support commanders up behind the Rambo bombs. Plenty of Harbingers, but not enough, I don't think. Is there anything on the ground that can have a go at them? Oh, some point defense back here. Actually, a lot of point defense. That should be enough to shoot these guys away and keep them at distance. Checking up the top section, and actually, this has been a fallback for Assassin. What happened to the GC? Looks like that's the GC there. Plus we got taken out by air. There used to be a whole bunch of broadswords, but they are no longer. Fatboy over here lobbing his shells over once again, comes out for some extra punishment. 107 kills on that guy, and the kills are climbing. There's a rank Confederacy going all out. What's that nuke? Well, it's just about loaded again, but I feel like he's going to need something else. Look at the amount of T2PD down here. The shots are just obliterating these Percivals. So much damage coming from those. Percival, oh no, you can't tank that. And now, support commanders who decide to walk away. As they might, there are units that with them are gone, and they need to consider relocating. But more Rambo comms are turning up. They're throwing down some flak. Flak is useful, I guess. But outcome some Harbingers, not a great idea. Those are Rambo comms are quite tight. But have a look at what has happened to the map while all this is going on. Giant gaps of eco down the bottom left corner, but that's just a production stage now. There has been... well, it's got the eco from up above, so this is just a unit building down here at the moment. Rebuilding T1 mixers, could maybe nuke again, maybe around here, kill off all of this would be a good little... well, no, he decides to go for this over here, some build power. There's another Fatboy about to get built. The question is, will the Fatboy get away, or will it sit still while the nuke lands? Support commander surrounding it, it's not moving yet, and that nuke is coming. Maybe he should have thought about nuking up here, perhaps. T2 artillery are going to be a pain in the buttocks. Fatboy has not moved. Support commanders all around it. Oomski. 1, 2, 3 support commanders, Fatboy, and all of that build power. 4 factories, 2. Quantum gateways. Not a bad nuke. I still wonder if this might have been a better option though. There's plenty of power over here. There's another one of those. There's the T3 mixers. Team 1 find themselves behind an eco, but ahead in total mass. Right over here, this is Internet. He's trying to build up a Fatboy of his own. He's got not much left in the form of that, and hello, all the air. Broadswords have come up this way. They're trying to take out the artillery, but it's just simply not enough for them. And there's too much flak, too many SAMs, and the broadswords aren't going to survive much longer. In the face of all of that, really needed some better option than broadswords to take out all of this. Go for the damage one first. Running out of broadswords. SAMs have done their job, flak has done their job. Try to distract with the ASS, but it doesn't matter because the SAMs do focus down upon the bigger threat, which is the broadswords, and they are now out of the game. Still working with the Fatboy down here, throwing some shells down into some poor hapless engineers. Massive army with a GC is queued up for assassin, ready to go. He's still going for the nuke, he's still going for the nuke. Needs something else though, because that is a scary amount of everything on his doorstep. The GC is slowly on the way. I want to get some more build power on that. Perhaps the nuke has limited use, especially if they start throwing down some SMD. Still has a good hit over here that could be done. Maybe up here, although not really. I think that's still his best bet. There's no SMD left and he can take care of that. Certainly got SMD up here. There's this one here, some middle assassin's base. That is the last one though. If they could maybe snipe that. If they had sent the broadswords through here directly, sniped that out, I think that is actually his only SMD. Not seeing any more. Not seeing any out here. That is the only Eastern unit, but here we go. Here's a massive push coming in from Assassin now. He's using these forces, charging in with the G's here, which has taken a huge amount of damage. Fatboy fire to the face perhaps, maybe some Ravager fire tickling it in as well. We had some Brawlers over here before, which are now dead to the Redeemers, but that is a very heavily hurt GC. It's trying to turn around to run, but it's way too late. And the Fatboy is going to finish it off. The Ravagers here are going to finish it off. And that just leaves a bunch of units. There's a lot of T1 in the mix, which is absolutely fantastic for a Fatboy. It just rips through T1 at range all day with their massive explosions. Another nuke goes out from Snagglefox. Maybe he should have thrown it up here with all of this, because that is a scary amount of units. But no, the nuke is going back over this way. It looks like he's finishing off the eco down in the bottom corner. I expect that nuke to land over there and just do a wee bit of a cleanup in that situation. Hello, Tech Bank. That could be a tech snipe. Indeed, the nuke lands down here. That is all gone. But checking up this way, and this is Insane. He has been caught. Those bricks will turn on him in a moment. His health is going to disappear completely, and he is going to die an explosive death right here, right beside some T3 PGens. Oh no. Who's that back there? That's Snagglefox. Oh no, Snagglefox is also in a bad location. Did he not see this coming? I don't know, but he's caught out, and he is going to join. Oh dear. Snagglefox, he's forgot I was there. Whoops, forgot indeed. And Hayden just goes, I can't deal with that. He control K's his comm out of the game as well. Sees his teammates go down, and he joins them in the grave.